What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Ready, Set, Recap, where we recap what's been going on. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend, Skyler.
How's it going, people? Happy to be here.
This week in the news, somehow Frodo has returned. 2 major anime are coming to an end. Pokemon showed me something I can never have. We got our first look at Fallout Season 2. The silksong is real. PlayStation is raising their price. The Weapon Guy is making a movie for DC, maybe. And we break down what else there is to talk about from Gamescom. But before we get into all that, Skyler, what's been going on with you this week?
Very little, but also one thing rather big that I think a lot of people have done this week is I watched the first episode of Peacemaker Season 2, which just came out.
How is
Did
that? I
you
haven't watched
see
it. No, I
You
didn't.
have not watched it. We're doing stuff.
We're doing it.
We're doing a Peacemaker. I'll withhold any major details until you've watched the episode, but it seems like we're right back into it. Happy to see all these people again. We might be going a way that maybe some people don't want to go.
Okay.
So kind of raise an eyebrow at that, but
Is some people me?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I know
if
what
you
you're talking
have-
about.
Yeah. But
They showed off the multiverse stuff like in the trailer. Like, it's not a surprise to me. I know that there's some of that going on.
it just seems like that's like as far as like Peacemaker's central story, that's going to be a major part of the season. So it seems interesting
Yeah.
that in a time where everyone's very tired of multiverse stuff, like that's how we're kicking it off.
I think
Seems
it'll
interesting.
be...
I mean, I'm optimistic. I liked
Yeah.
the first episode, so I'm chill. I'm here with it, but again, it's interesting. One thing I will talk about
Ooh.
is it did the previously on like last season
Mhm.
thing. Well, it starts with John Cena saying previously in the DCU, and then it shows clips from last season. And it was one of those things where James Gunn, in his endless talk about what is and is not canon, he was like, whatever you see on the previously is automatically canon. It's like,
Mhm.
okay. And so it was it showed all like the major points of what season 1 was. Obviously, we know Peacemaker fought Project Butterfly and whatever. I guess it's still up in the air, quote unquote, how canon the Suicide Squad movie is, right? Because they haven't really like whether or not Harley Quinn is established or Margot Robbie, I guess, or if there was a big Starro that happened.
Right.
Right, I guess
But some of
it
it
could be
has to be.
questionable if that. Yeah, I mean, as
'Cause-
far as I'm concerned, that's where the universe starts now.
Yeah,
is that movie?
I would say that movie is canon because I don't
Yeah.
expect them to bring Starro back, so it's like whatever.
Yeah.
But also, like, Amanda Waller is in season 1,
Right,
and I assume
she's
will show
getting
up
her
in
own
2.
show.
And that
She's
too.
getting her own show. Yeah, so
And I believe in this season they've said that Rick Flag Sr. is pissed at him for killing his son, which happened in the
yes,
Suicide Squad.
yes, it did.
So at least aspects of that movie have to be canon.
Of course. But one thing that I will say that they've done their first official major retcon is obviously a big point of contention on what is canon. I guess I
Yeah.
hate this kind of nerdy shit conversation.
Hey, man,
I'm
here's
so
where we
over
are.
it.
Well, then
But
stop
it's what
being a
we do.
nerd.
I can't.
Well, give it a couple weeks. We're talking about football.
The Justice League shows up at the end of Peacemaker season 1,
Mhm.
as you know. Jason Momoa and various canceled and hated celebrities in superhero costumes
I think it's just the one.
or stunt doubles.
Are more than
yes.
one of the Justice League members canceled, or is it just Ezra?
People don't like Gal Gadot.
Right, but I
Like,
don't think
full
she got
stop.
canceled. I think she's just a really bad actress.
Not officially. I
Yeah.
think people are just.
Oh, she is
There's
like
other-
lightly,
Yeah.
not even lightly. No, she is like
Mhm.
for sure Zionist. I mean,
Yeah,
she was from Israel. She's in Israel.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
so depends on where you fall on that side. But I'm not thrilled with it.
Anyways, the previously on has retconned that so that the Justice Gang shows up.
I did actually see that. Yeah, I saw a picture of that online.
They fully swap the silhouette characters to all 3 of the Justice Gang. I guess not including Metamorpho because
He wouldn't have
whatever.
been part of the team. Yeah.
But but Superman and Supergirl are both there as well,
Oh,
just as silhouettes. And
I feel like they could have handled that problem on their own.
yeah, but they were late.
Yeah.
Supergirl was probably drunk, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Superman was busy. He's got a lot of stuff going on.
He's got to make out with Lois. And
Mhm.
frankly, Godspeed.
Yeah, that takes a while. Once you start, you can't stop.
She's like
Anyways,
she's like a can of Pringles.
exactly. And then like the little cutaway is because in the original, Peacemaker tells Aquaman to go fuck a fish,
Hmm.
and then Jason Momoa is like, I hate that." But now the little cutaway of the two actors they actually got, presumably on the same day that they shot a scene for episode one, Nathan Fillion, Guy Gardner, and Isabel Merced, Hawk Girl, they're there and they have things to say. It's a smart retcon, I guess. I didn't even consider it. I just thought we weren't going to talk about it
Yeah,
the
and I
Justice
would have been
League.
fine with that too.
Yeah.
It's weird that they redid the scene and then stuck it in here, but I guess he probably would have gotten a lot of bullshit online from, sweaty neckbeards about it. So I
Mhm.
understand it. I didn't need it. Yeah, I'm with you.
No, it was cute though.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
yeah, for sure.
Um, and then yeah, I liked the episode. I'm excited for the rest of the season to unfold. This is one of the shows that I will actually be watching as it comes out week to week,
Hell
which
yeah.
is rare nowadays.
Well, I'm actually also going to talk about something that we've already talked about on the show.
Ooh.
From what I did this week, I did a couple of things, but the thing that I think was the biggest for me was we got to the end of, what would you call it, book 3, chapter 3, whatever, of the live play D&D podcast, Worlds Beyond Number, specifically campaign 1, I can get this, the Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild one. There we go.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Straight up, anybody who's not listening to this is missing out on one of the best stories, period, being told in media today. Like, it is so good. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot think right now, and I haven't watched Peacemaker, but whatever, of like a currently going comic book run or movie series or TV series, anything right now that I am more excited to get the next chapter of than I am
Mm-hmm.
this podcast. It is so good. There's very little I can say about it without spoilers. Um, Erika Ishii as Ame is absolutely amazing. She is like one of the coolest characters of all time. She plays the Witch of the World's Heart. So her role in the story is that she sort of acts as this bridge between. She's in some ways the Avatar. She is a spirit, like a bridge between the world of spirits and the world of man, and she plays it so well. Like, her role is to be a mediator, and then her two companions, Suvi is a wizard who is like a representative of the world of men, and Ursulon, who is a spirit, a child of the Great Bear spirit, is a representative of the world of spirits, and so she is literally the mediator between, like, in this friend group even, and it is told so amazingly well. We are at a point now where whenever we finally get to chapter 4, because they're taking a little detour and doing some like side stories first, it's literally going to be like we're going into like the Return of the King, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a lot
Mm-hmm.
of wars and battles and crazy stuff happening, and it's going to break my absolute heart. There was a line spoken in the most recent episode by a character named Sly, for people who know, that I won't spoil because it's so good, but he said it to Ursulon, and I was listening to it at work, and I froze. Like, I was between the aisles in the back in the warehouse, and I just froze and like had to stop and listen, and was like on the verge of crying. There was there was so much like emotion and amazing things happening throughout the entire episode, but that moment in particular is going to stick with me for a long time. It was so good.
Wow.
Really, really, really recommend it. If you, even if you don't give a fuck about D&D, just listen
Right.
to it as like a book on tape, and you will
Sure.
have a good time. Guarantee it.
I've listened to very little of it, just what you've shown me, but it's
It's
high
good.
quality for
It's
sure.
so good. Actually, did you also see, this is it's somewhat related, but they announced campaign 4 for Critical Role, Critical Hit, Critical Role,
Yeah,
and
I did see that. I don't
Brendan
remember
Lee
the
Mulligan's
details.
gonna DM that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good for him, man.
he's
He's on
great.
top of it.
He's so good. Um,
Yeah.
it makes me like also really want to get a subscription to Dropout because I know he does like Dimension 20 over there, and there's all kinds of really
Mhm.
great content over there that I like kind of want to watch. I've
He
seen like
did
clips of
just
it.
leave Dropout for this, presumably.
No, so the him leaving Dropout was a joke.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. There was it was like a spoof video. So they put out a thing. They were doing a thing on. I guess it's possible that he really did leave, but it would be a weird timing because they also did a thing where they're like pitching video ideas to what's his name, Sam
Right,
Reich,
yeah.
whatever, the guy who like runs it. And one of the ones that they pitched was a fake "Why I'm Leaving" Dropout video from Brendan Lee Mulligan, where he says that he's leaving to make shoes for American Girl dolls. And the reasoning was like it's going to get so many clicks. He's like one of the biggest names here, so it is possible that he did leave Dropout and I didn't hear about it, but it would be very weird timing.
Well, yeah. Now I Schrodinger's Brennan Lee Mulligan because I thought it was real, and if you Google it, it's like he left, but then people are like, did he really? I don't know. Is
Hard
he
to know.
there? Or is he not?
Hard to say.
Just like Deadpool in Avengers Doomsday, is he in it or is he not?
Is he in it? Is he not? Do I care? I don't.
I guess who cares? He's gonna be in one of them, right? It's either the one that comes out next year or the one that comes out the year after. You just wait, Deadpool
Yeah,
will show up. They'll say a funny.
Ryan Reynolds Deadpool is like not a thing that I need to see again. Actually,
No.
Deadpool in general. I don't want him at my comic conventions. I don't want him in my comic books. I don't need to see him. I despise that character.
Oh, I don't know about despise. I don't. I would go as far as don't care for or don't care about, I guess, but I don't know.
But
I don't know
do
about despise.
you do despise the cosplayers though?
Oh, well, the cosplayers are a different thing.
They're
That's
terrible. Yeah,
yeah,
they need to
because they're like
go.
they're in your face, they're touching people. It's like go away.
Go away.
No one asked for this.
Ugh. But anyway, let's get to the news.
Yeah.
Do. Skyler, hey,
Mm-hmm.
how you doing? You actually dropped this story in there.
Did I?
But Frodo is coming back to Lord of the Rings. Now, it is weird because the article
Mm-hmm.
that you dropped in there did not specifically say that it was our boy. What is his name in Spy Kids? The man, the boy, the guy?
Oh, the guy.
The
Yeah.
guy.
Spy Kids 3D game
It's
over.
not the guy. But or they didn't say it was the guy. The assumption is that it is because so apparently Ian McKellen just like said, "Hey, Frodo's going to be back in this Search for Gollum, Hunt for Gollum movie,
Right.
this inadvisable movie that's being made." Which I guess would also presume that he is going to be back too, because otherwise I don't know why anyone would tell him.
Yeah.
But does this do anything for your interest in the Hunt for Gollum? Gollum.
I don't know what the fuck this movie is. And I don't
Yeah.
mean that in a sense of like I wasn't aware of it. I was aware of this movie. It's supposed to come out 2027, supposed to film next year. It's directed by Andy Serkis, who is playing Gollum again.
Yeah, I
And
mean that makes
then
sense.
if you look at the IMDb now, which doesn't as far as I know, it's not set in stone. But the cast is Andy Serkis, Ian McKellen, and Elijah Wood.
Okay, so IMDb at least is trying to is confirmed.
Whoever edited the page,
Yeah.
I guess they certainly seem to think so.
Okay, cool.
But
Cool.
it's not like a surefire thing.
If it's Ian McKellen and Andy Serkis, it would be weird for them to be like, and here's Timothy Chalamet as Frodo. You know what I mean?
Oh well, if they got Chalamet, that's a different story. That'll be
Chalamet.
fine. Yeah, there you go. What the fuck is this movie? Like
I
what?
don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where in like the timeline it takes place. Presumably, it's them looking for Gollum. But if Frodo's in it, it would have to be because it wouldn't be like when they lost the ring and like Gandalf and Bilbo are looking for him. Because then why the fuck would Frodo be around? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So would it be after? But then Frodo went to the Grey Havens. So is he even still? I do have questions, and it may be answered somewhere on the internet, but I'm not gonna look it up.
This film delves into an untold chapter of Middle-earth focusing on the perilous quest to find and capture Gollum, the creature who once possessed the One Ring. It takes place in the time between The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. So,
So Frodo went on a whole ass
big
adventure before
no,
Fellowship.
no. surely what this is saying, if Frodo shows up, it's exactly like when he was in the Hobbit movie, where he's like, I'm in the Shire, I haven't gone on an adventure yet.
Oh,
All right, see you later, Frodo. So like it's something that didn't need to be said.
right.
Someone probably just like cornered Ian McKellen on his way to the bathroom and was like, "Hey, who's in this movie?" And he's like, "Well, a bunch of people on a green screen, but then also I did see Elijah the other day."
Yeah,
That that must have been what happened. I don't know.
I could see that. I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. So yeah, he probably won't play a big role because it just wouldn't make sense. You know what I mean? There's no way he leaves the Shire.
Hmm.
I guess the furthest he could go is like maybe what Bree, the town where the prancing pony was, right?
Yeah, I
That would
guess.
be the furthest I would be comfortable with him going. There's
Do you think it'd
no.
be raining there again?
I think it always rains there. I think
Just
that it's the
consistently
Seattle of
raining.
Middle Earth. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we need this movie. This one screams to me like, what else we got?
Yeah,
You
honestly.
know, like how do we get people back into this franchise? We put Gollum in a movie again.
Just
That's
watch
why
Rings of
everyone saw
Power.
the first Hobbit movie.
Oh yeah. Eh. Uh
Remember when the New Zealand airport built that giant Gollum statue, like crawling over the like the roof of the
the
the airport?
airport.
It's huge.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes, I'm well familiar with that. And I wish I wasn't because it's truly going to be a sleep paralysis demon for the rest of my natural human life.
That's crazy. Y'all are crazy.
New Zealand's great. I want to go there someday.
I do too. Of course, I want to
It's
do the
gorgeous.
nerd thing of go to New Zealand and
To the Shire.
go to the Shire because it's like they left the full sets up from I think specifically when they filmed The Hobbit because like they built the sets in when they did Lord of the Rings, but then they tore them down or they got. But like the guy who owns the land was like, leave this up for tourist stuff. So when they redid it for The Hobbit, they did leave it up for tourist stuff.
I mean, that would make sense. It's also just like gorgeous. Like it's just a really pretty country, and there's a
Oh
ton
yeah.
of like touristy things to do there.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Our next topic, here we go, baby. It's a thing that I don't think you necessarily really care about, but we're getting the end of both My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer.
I
Now,
don't necessarily not care, but
yeah,
I
I just
haven't watched either of these shows.
right. They're both pretty good shows. I think that they've certainly had peaks and valleys.
Mm.
My Hero got pretty slow for a minute there, and I think people kind of fell off. Its most recent season was really good, and then, or sorry, no, 2 seasons ago. I'm actually a season behind. And then
Mm.
Demon Slayer, I think, has always been relatively good. I don't think the Swordsmith Village arc is particularly great, but it's always been like it's like a animation powerhouse. Like it's one that you just watch for the fights a lot of the time.
Yeah, sure.
So My Hero is getting a final season. Demon Slayer is getting Infinity Castle, which is actually going to be a movie. So it's ending uh, with one final film,
Right.
which will probably, just following their trend, become a season later, because when they did Mugen Train, they shot that as a movie and then they broke it up into episodes later and aired it like it was a season. And everyone was like,
Mm.
"Why are you doing this?" So they might do that again. I wouldn't put it past them. But two really good shows. I'm pretty excited for the endings. I have friends who have either read or know somehow the ending of both of them, because obviously the manga, the books have gone on and have finished already.
Hmm.
And they have said that the ending for both is pretty bad.
Mm.
So I look forward to seeing if I agree with them. One of the two of them
Yeah.
is a known pessimist, so I will probably enjoy it more than him, but we'll see.
Well, when it comes to endings for anything that have been going on for a while, people always hate it. So it's
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
also true.
But is it like warranted, like your Game of Thrones ending, or is it
It's definitely not that
unwarranted,
bad. There's
like
no way.
because you know for a fact when One Piece ends, there will be like bedlam in the streets. Like
Yeah, this show's been going on.
it's gonna it's been going on for people's entire lives, and so like it could give like the most logical, straightforward ending, and people will be like, Really? He found the One
Oh,
Piece?
really? The One Piece wasn't the friends we made along the way?
Oh, the One Piece was real. It was just treasure.
You're right. There is no ending to One Piece that's going to make everybody happy.
No, of course not.
And truthfully, I'll be honest with you, I don't really care what the ending of it is. Like it's for me, it's always
Yeah,
been the ride.
it's a
So
lifestyle.
it's a lifestyle. I mean, unironically for me, it kind of has been because I've been watching it since I was a toddler, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yes, My Hero Academia. I actually know part of how My Hero Academia ends, and I understand why people would dislike it. But to me, it doesn't sound that bad. I won't spoil it for you, even though I know you haven't really watched it and probably don't care that much. But
It's one of those things where it's like fully believe I'll watch it eventually.
it's really good. I think you would really enjoy it. I think you would enjoy both of these shows.
Yeah.
They're quite good. So it's exciting. You know, we're getting the this is like the third era, the third age of major Shonen Jump shows that have come and gone since One Piece started.
Yeah. The trifecta of what is
Yeah.
their main three things, and things keep ending, but One Piece is still part of the main three things.
Yeah. Well, and like even the ones that have cropped up after these two are also ending pretty soon. Like their manga are already over. Like Kaiju number 8 is done. Chainsaw Man is done. Jujutsu Kaisen is done. So a lot of those ones are like gonna be ending pretty soon. And One Piece is in its quote unquote final saga, but who the fuck knows how long that's gonna be? You
Yeah,
know?
it could be anywhere between 5 to 8 years from now, maybe.
Yeah. Will we live to see the end? Who knows? Um,
Probably not.
but moving swiftly along, Skyler, uh, have you seen the any of the news about Pokemon ZA Zaza?
Pokemon
Pokemon
Legends
Legends
ZA.
ZA.
Not since the last time there was news about. When was that?
I have no
I
idea.
want to say I nothing recently. I haven't seen
Okay.
anything recently. Why? What's up?
So have you seen either of the two new announced Mega Pokemon?
No.
Okay, so these are not huge news beats. You can look them up while we're talking.
Okay.
But they showed off Mega Dragonite a while ago, and I think he looks really stupid. But in the most recent trailer drop, they showed off Mega Victory Bell, and he also looks incredibly stupid. But in the trailer where they showed him off, this is a story just for me. Sorry while I indulge myself for a moment.
That's what the show is. It's fun.
Thank you. They show it like it's a horror movie. Like the whole trailer is these two kids like going through this. It looks like maybe a haunted school or like a shut down like condemned school or like office building or something. It's hard to tell exactly. And like they keep running into all these like spooky Pokemon and like spooky things are happening. And all I could think the whole trailer was like, this looks like such a better game than anything we're ever gonna get from Pokemon. Like, why am I not getting Luigi's Mansion but it's Pokemon? Why am I not getting Fatal Frame but it's Pokemon? You know what
I
I
was
mean?
gonna say Fatal Frame. Yeah.
Yeah. Pokemon Snap, but it's horror.
Yeah, scary Pokemon.
Is like there are so many interesting things we could be doing with this IP that we are just not even attempting anymore.
All right, Mega Dragonite has wings on his head.
He looks incredibly stupid. They made Dragonite look even stupider, and I already don't like Dragonite.
Oh, I like Dragonite, but yeah, this one, it's not.
He's just a
I mean,
swollen Victory Bell that's full of acid.
oh yeah. So I was gonna say about Dragonite is you could complain about it more, but then I looked at Mega Victory Bell.
Yeah. No, and now to be fair, a lot of Mega Pokemon do look incredibly stupid. So these two also looking stupid is not like a shocker. Um, and I also don't care because like whatever, it's the Mega forms. They're barely canon.
Right.
My complaint here is it's like, okay, so you, because we had this running joke in one of our group chats for a long time. Whenever they'll put out like one of the Pokemon shorts, like what is it, Origin or like Challenge to the Top or whatever those ones are called, or even like Pokemon Concierge, where it'll be these like very short, animations of like just so much better ideas and concepts than what we're getting from the games or the show. And it's just
Yeah.
like, hey man, what if you did make a Pokemon anime that like skewed towards people who were in their 20s or 30s? You know what I mean? That was slightly more adult and had some more adult themes. What if you did that? Because like we're the people buying it. We're the 30-year-old well, not us specifically, but we're the generation that's, kicking down the doors at a toy store and make sure that no kids can ever get the fucking cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you may as well just target us for the shit. Like, that's what we're here for. I don't know.
Derelict, shattered Pokemon card vending machines.
This is a complaint just for me. It's just like, I don't care a lot about like most Nintendo things, but Pokemon was the one that broke through because that's our generation. And I've been so disappointed lately with just like the quality of the product that they've been giving us.
It is what it is.
Something I'm not disappointed in
Oh,
is Fallout Season 2, baby.
the trailer.
Ooh-bee, baby. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a teaser trailer. They showed it at Gamescom, but they also had released it slightly before Gamescom. So like we had already kind of seen it. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I did. I watched it a couple times.
We got some cool shit going on in this trailer.
This is going to remember how when season 1 came out, and I want to say like somewhere between 85 to 90% of people were like, "Oh, this show's good." But then there was that 10 to 15% ish of people that were like, "This treads on canon," or something. Like they were mad about certain
Oh, sure.
things
Yeah.
that they perceived that should or should not be canon.
They like messed with the timeline of the NCR or something.
Yeah, allegedly. Even though I don't know, I think it's
I don't
vague
know,
enough
and
that it's
frankly don't
fine.
really care that much.
Yeah, I don't care. I keep saying my war on canon continues. I don't give a shit. But this is gonna, I think, get even more people mad. Like those kinds of people. Which I'm gonna say, I don't care about those people.
No, not at all.
I don't give a
Not
shit.
even a little bit.
Shut the fuck up. But they're gonna come out in droves when they confirm that the NCR lost the Battle of Hoover Dam or something like that. They're gonna be like, no, not my game. This is because
Right.
like if you think Fallout fans are obnoxious, which they definitely can be,
All fan bases can be.
of course,
Yeah.
fandom is toxic just by
True.
existing. But like the Fallout New Vegas fan section, which I love New Vegas. Let me put that out there.
Yeah,
But
I think it's
they
my
are
favorite one.
they're the most pretentious people
Yeah.
that you'll ever fucking talk to.
You ain't wrong.
So,
I'm very excited for this. You're definitely right. There's definitely people who are like, I don't remember exactly where in the timeline it takes place, and I don't particularly care. I'm willing to just think of the show as a separate thing, which is, I think, even though they've said it's like part of the canon, part of the timeline, I don't care. Like for me, it's always going to be separate because you make so many choices in the game anyway that it's like there's no version of this world that you could make that takes place anywhere in the timeline except maybe before the war started that would fit perfectly into all of the possible choices a person can make. There's no way. So you just make it your own thing. You know what I mean? There's no shot. But I'm so excited for this season. I think it looks really good. I'm super excited to see our boy back before the war going and talking to Mr. House and dealing with all that stuff. I think that was some of the most interesting stuff in the first season was like the pre-war storyline. I think that's very interesting. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited that we're going to go back to the Lucky 38. I was surprised to see Novak in the trailer. Didn't expect to see that at all.
A lot. Like we got the T-Rex is in promotional material. It's in the trailer.
She's doing the Boone quest. She's just up there. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in Boone's spot. Maybe she'll meet Manny Vargas.
Yeah. She might meet Boone.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how brave they are to like introduce characters.
Well, who's his voice actor? Is his voice actor like possibly just an actor who could literally just be in the show?
No. His voice actor doesn't look tough. I'm trying to remember what his name. He's the guy that voices Goofy's son, Max.
Maxwell Goof.
Yeah.
Maxwell Jacob Goof. Well.
Jason
Goofman.
Marsden is his name.
Jason Marsden. Oh, I'm thinking of the other Marsden.
Yeah, you're thinking of James Marsden. Now, if they got James Marsden,
I'm down.
I don't think he's a really good. He would be good for Boone, but
no,
get
he's
him
too
in the
hot.
show.
Way too hot. Yeah. Couldn't pull it off. But yeah, we also get, like you sort of mentioned, by saying that the NCR didn't win the Battle of Hoover Dam, maybe. We got our first look at Seasons Legion, which I think is exciting, just to get a new faction in there. We got our first sort of teaser look at a Deathclaw, and I think it looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
It's clear that the budget of this season is higher than the previous season, which I think makes a lot of sense given how successful the first season was.
Right.
It's already been greenlit for a third season. I think we may have talked about that a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
So we know we're getting more even after this. I'm super stoked for this. I don't think that Amazon or Bethesda or anybody expected the first season to be as big of a hit as it was.
Right.
And I hope that that doesn't like go to their head and they start doing like really wackadoo crazy shit in season 2. So I guess we'll have to see what happens with that. But I'm so down for this. Like this is
Yeah.
very quickly rose to the top of like upcoming shows that I'm excited for or like most anticipating.
Of course, the first season struck such a good balance of style and humor and subject matter, and this looks like we're getting a lot of, I don't want to say more of the same, but like it's cranked
To an
up.
extent, yeah.
Like we're getting some good looking shit, and there is that part of your brain that is like, I know that place from the game, and now it's in this, and you get excited.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's silly, but it's very much true. We see a rad scorpion in the trailer for a second.
True, 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 true. What's
Death
one
Claw's
thing
coming
from New Vegas that you want for like you're going to be holding out like I want to see that in the show?
from New Vegas. I don't know. I mean, that's a really good question.
That's why I asked him. I'm the number one interviewer in the West, baby.
I mean, are we gonna get? Are they saving super mutants? Because we haven't seen any of
That's a
those
good
yet.
question. I think we did hear some kind of like rumors about it. So I don't know. I don't know. Certainly super
We
mutants
see
would be easier to do than a Deathclaw though, from like a production standpoint. It's a big
we
green
see,
dude.
we see Victor in the trailer.
We
That's
do see
cool.
Victor in the trailer. I'm glad he's around.
I yeah. I think what I won't say excited, like most excited for, but most interested in, and obviously this goes back to game canon versus show canon, and
Yeah.
again, I don't really care at the end of the day, but I'm interested to see, because now in this trailer, the Brotherhood has such a big presence in Vegas. It looks like they're coming.
Yeah, it's unclear necessarily how involved they are on the strip. Um,
Hmm.
for all we know, Maximus is just like I mean, he's got the not the Pridwin, but he's got the, part of
Yeah,
the flying fleet or whatever the hell. Uh, for all we know, the bastard could be over in New York for part of the season. Like he could just fly over there. I don't know. It seems
yeah, maybe.
unlikely. I'm sure he'll be local, but uh,
It to me it seems like the whole force that we saw in California in season one,
yeah,
they're trekking into the Vegas area for a reason or another. And I think I'd be interested to see just what sort of play the NCR actually gets in this. Like
right,
they've clearly gotten their asses handed to them, and their power's very diminished as far as like a government goes.
yeah,
And if Mr. House is still going strong in this, and if the Brotherhood is coming in full force to this, like how is the NCR doing? What do their forces look like? I'm interested to see that. Plus, yeah, the Legion's still around. I guess I am excited to see Legion shenanigans
yeah, for
as
sure.
well.
Yeah, that's always going to be something that I'm interested in. I think for me, there's two things that I'm really I would like to see. One, I would like to see them deal with or like do something with the different families that run the different casinos. I forget all of their names right
Yeah,
now, but like the Omertas and
the the Omer
them.
the Omertas, oh
Yeah,
goodness, the
I don't know the name
tops,
of the guys who run the tops
the
or
chair
run
the chairman run the
the
tops,
chairman. Yeah,
and the Ultra Lux is run by
the cannibals. That's all I
fucking
know.
freaking cannibals. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd love to see some kind of conversation about that. Some kind of like, even if it's maybe not like, Game of Thrones levels, but like some kind of like inter-family drama between the different tribes or families that run
Hmm.
those places. And then on a much smaller note, because I don't want it to be like a big part of it, but I would love to see Easter eggs to the DLCs. Like show me a Dean Domino poster, show
Mm.
me
Hmm.
something about, Big Mountain
Elijah.
or the Sierra Madre, or yeah, anything like that. Just like show me something like just an Easter egg toward it. I don't need to see,
Yeah.
like a lobotomite show up and be like, "Well, hey, it's me," or whatever. Um, but I would love to see just like little Easter eggs for that. And the Dean Domino poster, that's gonna happen. Like I'm like 90% sure they're just gonna
That's
stick that
easy.
shit on a wall in the background.
That's easy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You could easily like have something for like Father Elijah, the way that you go various places in the DLCs and you find something of his or like a log somewhere and he's travel all over the place. You can tie that in somehow.
I would love to see this. I'm just adding to it now. I would love to see one of the companions show up. Any of them.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I don't know which one would be like
Oh,
the easiest. I don't want. I don't. The only one I don't want to see is Arcade, for reasons.
well, for reasons. You can just full on recast him though.
That's true.
You
He
don't
does.
need
Yeah,
you
he
don't
doesn't even look
need
like Zachary Levi. So,
you don't need Zachary Levi. You can get
but he would be
anybody.
if he but if Arcade was in the show and it
Mm.
wasn't cast as Zachary Levi, we would have heard about it
Mhm.
by now because he would have been complaining about it so
Oh,
loud.
he would have been bitching about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we would know for sure. We would know.
You know who I want to see?
Danny Trejo.
I want to see the King.
Ooh, I would love to see the Freeside
I would
Kings.
I would
Yeah.
love to see the Kings. You, do an absolute power play. Get Austin Butler to play the King.
That's awful. That's terrible. That's the word. But I love it. What a great idea. But
No,
yes,
I would actually really really love to see uh Raul show up. You don't even need Danny Trejo in the makeup. Just have him do a voiceover
yeah,
for
voiceover.
the stunt guy in the makeup. That I'd be fine with that. But Raul would be cool. The Boomers. Can you do something with the Boomers?
I would be excited to see them. That feels like probably the least likely of the like factions of New Vegas to show up, just because they
I
are
don't
so
know.
far out in the middle of nowhere.
I think it's very possible that we need to get something that is on the Nellis base,
Could happen
and
for sure.
then we see Ella Purnell has to do the boomer run. She has
Oh
to
yeah,
avoid
yeah,
all the
yeah.
mortars, and then we see like some other schmo. That guy who's like, "Oh, I bet you 200 caps you can't make it." Like he gets blown up.
He's still there, however much
Yeah,
later.
he's
Yeah.
still grifting anyone who comes near.
What a douchebag. I would love that actually.
I would say we're not going to see Rex because we already have a dog.
We
It's
already
just
have a
not
dog.
necessary.
That's true. Yeah.
Um, like yeah, again, like you could go up into the mountain to Jacobstown, but again, are we saving
I don't know if we're.
super mutants
Yeah, I don't
for like
know.
a season 3 thing or something?
I feel this might be off base. I feel like super mutants are more of a East Coast thing.
Well, I do feel that now, even though game 1, which is all about the super mutant army,
Correct.
is
Yeah.
California, but that was so long ago. Super mutants, like the FEV experiments in like DC specifically in Fallout 3, that's where I think like all the mutants are like heavy.
Yeah.
And they're all evil and crazy, and like Jacobstown, that we're good guys. We got some nightkin that are weird, but we're not scary.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw one, but I'm not expecting them to be like a major role. You know what I mean? I wouldn't expect to go to Jacobstown.
Right.
I'd be excited for it. Like there's very little that they could show me from New Vegas. I'd be like, oh really? You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything that would disappoint me.
I think the reason you would want to avoid doing Jacobstown, not that I would be unhappy to see it, but like
Right.
when you introduce super mutants, I think you want to introduce them as a big hulking threat.
Right. And not
And
friends.
if we introduced like a town of friendlier guys, that's not really how we want to. We want to save that moment of like, oh, here are some super mutants and they're not trying to kill us. Like save
Yeah.
that for
That's a
later.
weird thing to do first brush. You're right. Let me
Or
get
maybe
one
they
last
could go
prediction
up
from you.
the other mountain where Tabitha was. Yeah, what's up?
Right. Let me get one more prediction from you. Do you think by the end of this season we have added a party member to the Maximus, Ghoul, Lucy trio? Do you think we have added, well, and Dogmeat, I guess. Do you think we've added something?
Hmm. I guess it
Because
depends.
I have an answer and I'm excited for yours.
So the way I see it, Lucy is our main character. She's our
Absolutely. She
number
is the
one.
player character.
And the ghoul is a bit more lone gunslinger. Like he's traveling with Lucy for now, but I don't necessarily. I could see it by the end of season 2 that he like goes off and does something else, or like kind of like betrays her for his own interests, something
Uh,
like that.
I could see that. I do think that they stick together. I think we are the friends now.
That's it's possible. And then Maximus, in a similar vein, like he very clearly cares for Lucy, but he's stuck in the Brotherhood of Steel promotional ladder. So
Right. He's
so like,
damned
is he
by his
gonna
own
keep
success.
exactly? So what's gonna happen there? I don't know. I think it's possible, especially if either one of them isn't traveling with Lucy by the end of season 2, then we could throw in somebody else, unless season 2 leaves Lucy like at her lowest point because she's going to confront her father,
Right.
so she might be alone by the end of the season. Who knows? I don't know. What do you think?
I think we do. I think we add a party member, and I will go one step further. I think it's a robot.
Is it Eddie? Do we get Eddie back?
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think we get a robot. I don't think it's like a big, crazy, like super strong robot. Like I'm not expecting like, oh, we got a Sentry Bot and an Assaultron. I don't think it's anything like that.
Yeah.
But I could see like maybe something on the level of like a Protectron, or like it's gonna be like a jokey character. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm feeling. And then we get some
Yeah.
comedian or some shit to do the voice. It's gonna be I don't know, Jason Mantzoukas or some shit is gonna do the voice for this like
Oh.
stupid little robot. I just for some reason that just feels so on brand. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
that's my prediction. Will it come true? Probably not. But I am predicting robot friend end of season 2.
I could I could very well see her getting like an Enclave iBot companion,
Yeah,
and you could even have it talk if you wanted to. Like
sure.
they don't in the games, but like you could. This one has a
Yeah,
speech function.
or
Whatever.
just give it the Bumblebee thing, where it talks through radio.
Oh, it talks through old timey songs.
Yeah,
Yeah. It would. I think if you were to do that and she kept Dogmeat, you would have to, because she can't have two little
it's
traveling
it's
buddies
a
that can't talk.
yeah. I think it's a little bit too on the nose to have. Hey, we did Fallout 3 sort of, and we're gonna or whatever, and we added
Yeah.
Dogmeat, and then like oh, and we're doing now we're on New Vegas, and you're getting Edie. Like it's a little bit too or Eddie. It's a little too much.
Yeah.
So I
I
would
do.
hazard against specifically the iBot,
I
but
I do agree with that, but I just think that the iBot is the most. It kind of fits the comedy and like traveling ability
yeah, that's
of the
definitely true.
party, where like it's not too bulky. It can go anywhere. It can fly somewhere. It can get shot down for a second. Who knows?
Right.
And it doesn't have to be Eddie specifically. Although I guess you could curb the oh, we did New Vegas and she got an iBot if it is just Eddie, of which we know there are multiple.
Right. Yeah. I don't remember. Well, we won't talk. We don't have to get into the spoilers of Lonely Road or whatever. But I
Mhm.
don't remember if we had many left at the end of that DLC.
No, but one could have survived. Who cares? Maybe
Yeah.
Ulysses is here.
I'd be down. I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
Another thing, like if they do a droid, the reason I think that they would do a robot is for merch. Like robots
Oh,
are
of course.
such a toyetic thing that you could sell like plushes of or action figures of or like all kinds of shit. Like I think that makes so much sense for just like
Most definitely.
let's get that shit out there. Wouldn't it be hilarious? Because Rings of Power, an amazing show, but wouldn't it be hilarious if Amazon did put $5 trillion into Rings of Power and people just like generally seem to not care about it for whatever reason, even though I think it's
Mhm.
phenomenal. And then they put like a shoestring budget on Fallout and it blows up crazy. I think that's awesome.
I'm just happy that Fallout's doing well.
Me too. Me too. Now if we could just get a
Good
damn
time.
game.
Yeah, come on, guys. What's up?
In other news, the Silk Song is real. We finally got a release date for Silk
Yeah,
Song,
we
and it's
did.
like real soon. So this is Hollow Knight Silk Song. It's the sequel to, of course, Hollow Knight, which was a hugely popular, like just surprise left field indie game that came out way back at this point.
Mhm.
Um, from Team Cherry, they're a little Australian team of 3 people, well, 2 people and a composer,
Mhm.
who are finally putting out this long awaited sequel. It's coming out September 4th. I am so excited. It's going to be a day one for me. I don't know if I'll have time to like play, like really dedicate to it immediately when it comes out, but it's definitely going to be a day one purchase. Like it's going in the library immediately.
Composers are people too.
Well, yeah, but I just mean like they're not generally counted as like one of the developers typically.
It took me a second. There was a beat where I was like, "Did the time pass for that joke?" Nah, fuck it, I'll still do
No,
it.
you're good. Yeah, because it was. I don't know if they've hired people between, I guess, but Team Cherry was two guys, and then they just like called up their friend. They're like, "Can you do some music?" And that was like his whole contribution.
Hey, that's how
Um,
you make video games.
I mean, honestly, yeah, one of the best video games of the last little while too. One of my favorites. It's so good.
Mhm.
I don't believe you played Hollowknight, but I think you watched what your brother and or Steven play it, right?
Little column A, little column B. I
Little
do want
column
to
A, little
play
column B.
it, and Silksong right around the corner is a good time as any.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal game. If you've got time to play it before it comes out, I highly recommend it. Not a ton to say about it. You play as Hornet, who's a side character in the first game. She seems like she's going to be a lot more mobile. She's got like basically Spider-Man shit going on, so I'm really
Mhm.
excited about that. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it other than
It's real.
there was an article that came out that I laughed at so hard when I saw it at work that said at least we'll always not have Half-Life 3.
Oh, that's true.
Because this was like one of the other ones that had sort of risen to that thing of like every time any showcase happened, they were like, but where's Silksong? But where is it? Every time an Xbox showcase, every time a Nintendo showcase, anytime anything.
Yeah.
But where's Silksong? But where is my sweet baby girl, sweet Silksong?
Yeah, we got Half-Life 3 and the next two Game of Thrones books. Those will never come. So we have that
We'll get
at
one. I
least.
think we get Winds of Winter, but I don't think we get
No,
the. I don't think we get the
I
end of
don't
it.
think so.
I
I don't
guarantee
think
it.
so.
I'll put a pizza bet on it. I'll buy you two pizzas if we don't have
Two
Winds of
two
Winter by
pizzas.
2030.
The the Joey special, two
Two
pizzas.
pizzas. Two
All
pizzas.
right. All right.
Any
I'll
toppings.
This is on recording now. This is
Yeah,
this is
if we
out
don't have
there
Winds of Winter by the end of 2030, I will buy you two pizzas.
by the end of 2030. Okay. All right. There you go. I have something to live for.
You are
5 more
now
years.
forced to live for another half decade.
There you go.
Um, hey, in other news, this one, I think maybe the only negative one of the week, so that's cool. Is PlayStation has raised the prices of all PlayStation systems in the United States. They did. There's a lot of articles that are like, oh, they're only raising it in the United States. I think that those articles are sugarcoating the fact that they've already raised the price pretty much everywhere else already.
Hmm.
Because of course they did Canada a couple months back. They've done Latin America and South America, I think earlier this year as well, and Europe, like all of Europe, and I think India as well. So it's like basically the entire video game market. Although I don't know if they raised in Japan. They may have. Not. Don't quote me on that.
Right. Right.
But they're raising it all. I think $50 across the board for PS5, PS5 Pro, and also the Portal, the like kind of shitty handheld that they made.
Yeah.
Where it's not like a proper handheld, it's like a streaming thing. That's why I say it's kind of shitty.
Hmm.
But so that's a huge bummer. They of course quote bad, challenging economic environments because our president loves tariffs and doesn't understand how they work. And so it's like hard to blame PlayStation for this because like everyone has to raise their price because of this, specifically in America. Because that's literally like how this works. Is like it is a tax on American consumers, where when they import something that's made anywhere else, the person who imports it has to pay X amount more, and so they just pass that on to the consumer because of course they do. Like that's Sony's a big enough company that they probably wouldn't necessarily have to, but like they're not going to look like the bad guys doing it because they can just be like, well, it's that dipshit orange guy over there.
Yeah.
So it's a bummer. It's unfortunately the reality we live in is just like, we are backsliding real fast into a recession here. And, this is certainly not one of the key fingers pointing at that truth, but, just one more sign of the apocalypse, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh man, speaking of political stuff, not to get too far off base, I found out at work the other day that a lot of people don't know about this. So I was going to ask you if you knew. Have you heard that our Texas House of Representatives is holding a woman hostage right now?
No.
Okay, so I thought that this was like huge news and everyone knew it. But so I'm assuming that you did hear that the Democrats in Texas, like in our House of Representatives, fled the state.
No.
Okay. All right, we're gonna unpack a little bit here.
You read more than I do lately. I just kind of shut a lot of it out, to be
That's fair.
honest.
So okay, I'll run through it as fast as possible. It's not a super long story, but it is a dark one. Our president Donald Trump, real dickhead, hate that guy. He
Mm-hmm.
called our governor Greg Abbott also a dickhead,
Yeah.
and he said, I am entitled to 5 more seats in the House of Representatives. Redistrict the state and find me 5 more seats. And Greg Abbott
Mm.
said, yes, sir, how high? And so he
Mhm.
was like, oh, well, we're going to call a special session and we'll redistrict. We'll gerrymander. That's what it is. They're gerrymandering the state even further than it already is, even though Texas is already one of the most gerrymandered states in the union. But here we are. And
Yeah.
specifically, the way that they're doing it is in order to disenfranchise and lessen the voting power of people of color. Once this map goes through, which it's already unfortunately been approved, it will literally people have run the math on it, and when you do it, black people voting in Texas will have 1/5 the voting power of a white person. Now this is a generalization because it is based not specifically on race, because that's still completely illegal for now. But they're focusing on areas of high population of people of color, and so there is if you're a black person who's living in like a white neighborhood, then your vote is still whatever. But a lot of the like people who live closer to the cities and like urban areas, places that are known to have like a higher African American population, they have split that up so that they will have 1/5 the voting power of a white person. Which is, you'll note, worse than Jim Crow era, wherein the 3/5 compromise gave them 3/5 of a vote. In Texas,
Right.
they will have even less than that. They're also breaking it so that Hispanic and Latin American people who are voting in the state of Texas will have roughly 1/3 the voting power of a white person. I assume the only reason that their number is higher is because there are so many more of them. Although Texas is the state that has the largest population of African Americans. So they really had to do a lot of work to screw them over on this one, and so they are. And anyway, so in order to protest that, our Texas Democrats fled the state to break quorum. Quorum is the number of people that you need in the Texas state House of Representatives in order to have any kind of binding vote. You have to have a certain number of people in there in order for anything to be passed and have it actually like matter. So
sense.
they fled the state so that they couldn't have that. And they were able to delay it by one special session and draw a lot of attention to it on a national level. It's been a huge thing in the news lately that people have been talking about it. But they had to come back because Greg Abbott and this other guy, I forget his name, Dustin something. He's a douchebag. He wrote civil arrest warrants, which are not applicable outside of the state. So that didn't really matter. But then Greg Abbott asked the FBI to track them down, and there was a whole lot of threats and like literally a bomb threat. So they ended up having to come back. And then he called a second special set, or he's calling a second special session soon, in which they will pass this map. It may have already passed. It's either it just happened like today, or it's going to happen like next week. But when those Democrats came back, they were hiding mostly in Chicago. When they came back, they were forced to sign slips that said that the only way that they could leave the House of Representatives, like the physical building, was if they were accompanied at all times by a police officer who had the direct instructions to arrest them and drag them back to the House of Representatives when that special session is called. Most of them signed it because they realized that there was really no way out of it. But one representative, specifically our representative, Nicole Collins, she refused to sign it. And so she may be out now. I didn't check today. But she was not allowed to leave the building, and she literally slept on the floor of the House of Representatives for 2 days. She is being held hostage because she refuses to sign this thing that will allow police to follow her.
What a good time we live in. This
Yup.
all seems very normal,
Yeah.
very fair.
So hey guys, it's all fucked. Get out and vote for the right people, specifically in 2026.
Unless you're in Texas, because then it just doesn't matter anymore.
No, it does. It does. It actually matters even more. So because they are doing these maps, they are having to stretch the Republican vote so fucking thin in order to try and cover up everybody else. And so people, especially people like us who live in white neighborhoods, we have to get out and vote in order to turn these things, because especially in terms of midterm elections, only people who are like really turned in typically show up. And so our opportunity to get the House of Representatives back in a place where we are not disenfranchising black and brown people, to get to a place where we are not gerrymandering states to the point of unrecognizability, to get to the point where we are not throwing immigrants into concentration camps in the Everglades.
2026 is our time to do that. When the midterm elections comes in, we have to get out there. We have to vote. We have to do it then. So it's not that it doesn't matter. I know it's so easy for people, especially right now, to just like throw their hands up and be like, it's always going to be bad. And there's nothing we can do about it. This is now literally the time when it has to be done, when it has to be fought for. Because this is, if we don't win in the next couple of years, it's only going to get harder and harder and harder to take it back. So no, this is not a, it doesn't matter. This is the, it matters the most now than it maybe ever has in our lifetimes. So definitely get out and vote in 2026 when those fucking midterms come in. When if there's a special election coming through in your state, you got to get your ass out there. Like, you got to pay attention to your community. You got to know when those votes are happening, and you got to get out and vote. It is the most important it has ever been. They are literally trying to remove the Constitution and install an authoritarian dictator. Like, it is super important.
Right.
But hey, also PlayStation raised their price. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get on a soapbox. I just thought it was really funny that like nobody that I was talking to at work even knew that this was happening. And I was like, we're literally in, like, this is our state. Like, we are, Texas is the battleground for so much of this shit right now. It's like the testing ground for for them trying all of this shit, because they know that Texas is like the reddest place in the union. And I was like, it's crazy to me that like no one's heard about this, but it's just not getting covered, I guess, on the news loud enough. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely make sure that you know these things, and that you know when the midterm election is happening, because it's incredibly important, incredibly important. Anyway, to move on to not politics. This is one that I think you will have a lot of fun things to say about. Is the guy who did Weapons, whose name I don't know, is currently writing Zach Krieger is writing a script on spec. He hasn't been asked to. He's just writing it on spec for DC. It's apparently called Henchman, and it's basically the plot of that one episode of the animated series where a goon from, I believe it's going to be Joker, according to this, I don't think this is all like rumors. I don't know how much of it was like proven. Is going to somehow like almost accidentally incapacitate Batman, and then get like a ton of street cred about it.
Yeah.
What do you know about this? What do you know about this man? Are you excited for this?
Well, yes, this is an episode of the animated series. The goon's name. Well, is he even? Yeah, he's just like a shitty.
Yeah, in the series, he's just a guy.
Like Z-list goon, and his name. Sid the Squid is what his name is, and it's this reads to me as something that is not gonna happen necessarily. Like, he's just like, oh, I just made this thing and I pitched it to DC. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not to sound like against it or anything. Like, sure, make any movie you want. But yeah, I don't know. He's a big name right now. Obviously, very successful horror movie. He wants to
right.
In the news, and he's just like, yeah, I'll do stuff for DC. I wrote a treatment for something that I think would be fun, and yeah, it probably would be fun. So.
I agree. I do think that, I don't know necessarily that this script will be made, but Weapons, obviously a huge success. He's a big name in terms of writing movies right now. And also Weapons obviously was published, produced, whatever you want to say, by Warner Brothers. So like that relationship is there. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him working on a DC project in the near future. I don't know that it'll be this one again, because like it is so crazy. Like if he was going to make this, the budget on it's going to be very low. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to make anything back. But James Gunn has basically said that in situations like this, he's still willing to like play ball. I mean, look at the Clayface movie is existing, and this is only a little bit weirder than that. So it's like I could see this being made, but I don't know. Like it feels like something that would just be like straight to Max. I don't necessarily see this going into theaters. It's like really good going into theaters. But I don't know.
I don't not to sound like a asshole studio producer guy, but I don't know how you would market this.
Yeah, I don't either. You'd market it in the way that he's being marketed on the streets. You'd be like, you see Squid took out the bat. Mm-hmm. You see Squid knocked out the Batman. That's just how they talk in Gotham.
Just full on. So you do one of two things, and they're the opposites, the polar opposites of each other. Is like either A, you market it as a Batman movie, and then he just disappears in the first 20 minutes.
Right. That's the other thing.
And piss everybody off.
Yeah.
Or B, try to market it so hard that like Batman has died. Batman dies in this movie. And then everyone's like, is he really dead? And then the answer is probably no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's one of the other.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where like I don't see this script being produced probably anytime soon, at least, because it's like we haven't even gotten the Batman yet. We're not gonna have the first Batman thing be he gets knocked out by Sid the Squid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So although I think in that episode, didn't it turn out that he like was playing them the whole time?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think it was a little of both. Like, no, obviously this goober didn't kill Batman. He was fine. But I think Batman did accidentally like knock himself out for an hour, and then he was like, "Oh, I meant to do that.
Right.
I was following you the whole time," said the squid. It's like, well, I think you were following him for the last 30 minutes, but I think
Right.
still fucked up, Batman.
When you woke up in the hospital, you were like, damn.
I think if you could have solved the problem without almost dying in an explosion, you probably would have done that.
True. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. I'm certainly interested in seeing whatever this guy does in the future. I know I don't really care for horror, and I'm probably not going to see Weapons anytime soon, but it's been extremely well received. So I'm always excited to see new directors getting new stuff. So I'm excited to see what he does in the future. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be this, but I do think he will do something for DC. You know, if the interest is there, they will take him up on that offer.
I don't want to sound pessimistic. I just don't see this one happening.
Yeah,
and I could very much be wrong. Like it could happen. James Gunn could be like, "Yeah, we'll do it. I will do this specifically to show that I will let creatives do whatever they want, because that's the kind of guy I am, and that's the kind of DC we're in now." But also, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you. And in something else that I wish I hadn't seen happening, was Gamescom, specifically Gamescom opening night live. I dropped this in the chat. I don't know if you sat through the whole damn thing, because again, it's a Jeff Keighley thing, which means it's 3 goddamn hours long.
To be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a second of this.
Did you look at like highlights or anything? Did you type in like biggest announcements from Gamescom or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay, well then I will just tell you about things that happened in it.
I guess I saw some clips from Resident Evil.
Okay, yeah, I was saying, yeah, you did message me about that. So, but so yeah, so the thing was 3 hours long, because Jeff Keighley is just like cannot learn how to pace one of these damn things, and there was not 3 hours worth of content in this thing. I also found like the opening of it kind of distasteful. The pre-show was Kyle Bossman was on. I do really like Kyle Bossman. I think he's a good guy. And he's in the past was a good reporter. He doesn't really do that so much anymore because now he's doing this. But he was just doing the whole pre-show like from his bedroom on a webcam, and I was like, if you want me to take this seriously, I'm sorry, you're gonna need to not be in your bedroom.
Ice Cube in War of the Worlds style.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry, like I do like you, but this is just not the production that I think you want us to believe it is. And you could make the argument like, oh, it's the pre-show, but if you're making new announcements on the pre-show, it's part of the show. I'm a firm believer on that. Like if you do a pre-show on a WWE show and you have a title defense on it, that's just part of the show.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
You know what I mean? And then also like when Jeff first came out, the very first thing he did was take a shot at E3 that's been dead for like 5 years. And being like, Gamescom didn't die, or sorry, E3 didn't die, it moved to Cologne, Germany. And everyone was like, woo, yay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because obviously, yeah, it takes place in Germany, obviously, Gamescom. And I would say, like, you know, Gamescom's cool and all. I think it's a cool thing to go to. There's never, ever, like, really big announcements at it. Like, most of the time, it's second or third trailers for games we've already seen, or, like, announcements of usually smaller European games, because, like, they're there, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's a really bold take to just be like, yeah, man, this is the new one. This is the good one. And like,
this one, not even Summer Game Fest,
right? Which is like his show. And because this isn't his, like he's hired to host opening night live for Gamescom. It's not like his thing, right? It's Gamescom's show that he is the host of. And so when he comes down to the stage, Kyle Bossman like introduces him like it's a fucking wrestling match, and is like, and now the creator of the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley. And it's like, first of all, he didn't invent the Game Awards. Spike owned that thing for like a decade before Jeff Keighley took it over. He did not invent it. And strictly speaking, the Game Awards are a joke and everyone knows it. So that's not really something you want to be proud of. Like, it'd be like, and now, guy who peed his pants on stage one time. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just such a weird thing.
What is your average video game fan like? Not your average person doesn't know any of this exists.
They're not
But,
watching
like,
it. Yeah.
Your average video game fan who's like watches Twitch streams and knows about the culture. What is their take on Jeff Keighley in general?
Truly, I think unless you are like really invested in the games industry and like actually watching the showcases, you don't know this dude exists at all. He doesn't make games. He doesn't even really talk about games. He used to sort of do more beat reporting and stuff like that, and like really talking about stuff. He used to host things that people actually watched. The people watched the Game Awards, but like not really. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. They may just not know that this guy exists. But my biggest problem with it is he's not a bad guy. Like, I think he's perfectly fine. It's just that he's like such a boring host. Like, he'll put on one of these shows and there's no sauce. There's no conversation. It's just like, he is the most deadpan guy. He'll have like a really cool announcement and then 4 hours of just nothing happening where he's talking in a monotone and nothing's going on. And you're just like, oh my God.
I agree. I do not hate this man. I have nothing wrong with him as a person. I'm sure he's a swell dude, but I agree that he's kind of a boring showman, and I think my problem with him comes from he's a little high on his own supply, a little in love with his own name, you know?
Yeah.
So I just like, less is more, dude. Run it from backstage.
Yeah, honestly. Like, it's your thing. Like, not this one in particular, but the other ones, like, it's your things. Like, you could just be the guy, the face of it, the producer of it. You could be the guy who talks about it. Just get a host who has some charisma, any charisma at all, anything, please. But you can talk about.
If we paid a host, we couldn't afford like a orchestra symphony.
Oh my God! No, these shows make
every single show we do.
These shows make, maybe not this one in particular, I guess, but like the Game Awards make so much money because they charge out the ass for seats for the tickets. They charge every person who puts a trailer in it has to pay for that slot. He's not like gifting it to people. And then half of it is just advertisements on top of that, where it's like gamer subs or whatever. So it's just like, it is a money printing machine. And then they, film it in some rinky dink, I mean, they're filming the pre-show in Kyle Bossman's bedroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now that thing makes hella money. He could hire whoever he wants. He could hire Timothy Chalamet. Hey, Chalamet, come out here, soup up a Xbox controller and talk about Ghost of Yotei. Do it.
You think I bet old Timothy, old modded controller 360, he would do it for free.
I don't know about free, but he'd probably do it for cheaper than he should.
He would do it for free. You just have to buy one of his custom painted Xbox controllers.
Hell yeah, brother. But let's talk about the actual like games. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing people want to actually hear about from Gamescom. I wrote down the ones that really spoke to me. So you didn't, which is fine.
No, yeah.
There were a lot. This is not comprehensive of all of the games that were shown. This is just the only ones that I saw where I was like, that might be something worth talking about. One of the things they opened with, I think literally the first thing, they're making, get this, a new Bubsy game. This guy won't die. He keeps coming back.
I did. I guess I saw more from this than I thought I did, because I did see that Bubsy 4D.
Bubsy 4D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
the joke is that he's existential now.
I think the joke is that nobody was asking for
Nobody wanted it. Nobody asked for it. He didn't want to come back.
And here we go. We put money and resources into it. So, like, yeah, sure. I'm all for a good laugh, a good joke. Why not?
Yeah, well, you won't get that here. I think the joke is that the game exists. I don't think anyone's going to play it.
Yeah, that's surely. they're so okay. I'm gonna ask this question coming from not really watching the trailer, just hearing that this exists now.
Right.
I don't know anything about the making of this game or who's behind it or whatever. But like, are there is the reason this exists like, oh, remember Bubsy? Bubsy 3D is so bad. So if we made Bubsy 4D and we're like in the know, this could become like the next big Twitch thing.
I
Like, you
doubt
come
it.
play this game, it's
Yeah.
Bubsy.
I think it falls into that same vein of like they're like anti games. There's like this trend recently of games like this happening, and I think this is kind of on the outskirts of this type of game. But it strikes me the same way as like that walking sim baby steps, or of like what is it, getting over it or whatever, where you're in the pot and you gotta like crawl your way up or chain together. Like it feels like it's gonna be one of those where like the joke is that no one wants to do this and that it sucks ass.
Mm-hmm.
So, but hey, Bubsy's back, baby. Return to the Bubs. One of the biggest ones, probably the biggest one actually by monetary value, was of course Black Ops 7. So we saw a look at this during the June showcase, the Xbox showcase. They didn't really show a ton new here. They said like, hey, the campaign's going to have like multiplayer. It's going to be like co-op. And I was like, was that not art? Do we not already know that? And then they confirmed like, we're going to also do zombies and we're going to have all these modes and blah, 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 blah. I still think the campaign looks really interesting. They showed a lot more of the like trippy sort of Inception-y like world bending stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to split certain fans of it because I know when they did like the futuristic shit with Advanced Warfare, people hated that for reasons I don't
Yeah.
understand. For me, I'm kind of more interested in it because it doesn't look like just like a generic military shooter of which there are 5,000. Like I don't
Yes.
need a new one of those right now. Also, Battlefield 6 is coming out around the same time. Like I don't
Yeah.
need another one of just normal military
Well,
shooter.
were they mad because that's strictly what Call of Duty fans kind of want, and then the Black Ops label? I've dropped off of Call of Duty like what, a decade and a half ago, so
Right. Yeah.
I can't really speak to. But isn't it like the Black Ops ones got kind of weirder, crazier? That's where the
Correct.
zombies mode is, and we do like the weird, interesting stuff, and then like the mainline Call of Duty things, they scaled it straight back to Modern Warfare because that for the fans who do just want the military shooter kill guys thing, and then all the weird artsy stuff is in Black Ops now. Is that kind of what we're rocking with?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's Black Ops has always been the weird one, and it's definitely gotten weirder recently. The one that came out last year was also a Black Ops. So it is a little strange that we're getting two Black Ops back to back. That hasn't, to my knowledge, happened before. Not that I'm like, a person who knows much about Call of Duty, but yes, these have always been sort of the weirder ones. And I think that that's why, for me, they've been the ones that I've like actually had some interest in playing. Granted, I only played 1, 2, 6, and I'll probably play 7 because it's going to go into Game Pass and the campaign looks interesting. But I also don't necessarily think it matters too much because like this is pretty much just the campaign. Like Warzone, the battle royale mode is not going to probably change. They'll add like new skins and maybe a couple new guns or whatever from the game, like they did from the previous ones, and that'll continue to print money like it has been for the last however long. The zombies mode will just be zombies. It doesn't matter that there's a campaign where crazy shit happens. That'll probably just be like more or less more of that. So I think a lot of the stuff is still going to be just exactly what those people want, and it's just exciting for me because the campaign is really the only thing in these games that I've ever really cared about. So I don't know. I think it could be sort of a win-win situation where it's like, because the main Call of Duty audience, I don't think really cares much about the campaign. I think they go in, they play the multiplayer, they play Warzone, they play maybe some zombies with their friends. And I think if they do the campaign, they do it once and then uninstall it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the online has always been the main event for Call of Duty, and then for the Black Ops series, zombies has always been the main event
Yes.
specifically. So as long as it has good online and a good zombies stuff, that's all they theoretically should really care about. I think there's merit to the online stuff, although I did play some Call of Duty online back again a decade and a half ago.
We're talking like Modern Warfare 2 times if I'm remembering
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I can not. I will never give a shit about battle royale stuff. That's just me personally, though.
Yeah.
So I can't. And also, this is kind of like sacrilegious to those who do like Call of Duty. I never got into zombies. I didn't really care for it. I was just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I never got into it really the way that a lot of people did either. I've played it and I enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm never going to be that guy who's like hunting down the Easter eggs in it or like doing the, finishing the whole thing over and over again and like trying to perfect my run and doing all that shit. That's not the game for me. For me, zombies is I jump in there with 3 friends and we die on wave 20 because we're a bunch of dumbasses.
The most
which
I
is
was
fun.
ever interested. The most I was ever interested in the zombies was that DLC that they did with like Sarah Michelle Gellar and Danny Trejo and Robert England.
Oh yeah, that wasn't even a DLC. That was just they've been sort of stunt casting the zombies for the last couple of games. Like pretty much every time that they do it, there's stunt casted people in it.
There was one where they were all like U.S. presidents, right? That was
one specific map. I didn't play that one, but yeah, I vaguely remember what you're talking about. Because there was a level in whichever game that was that took place in like the president's secret bunker, and then that one became a zombies map where you played as those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cute.
Yeah. I think that there's definitely going to be a lot for people to chew on. And if the campaign doesn't speak to them the way that it speaks to me, I genuinely don't think they'll fucking care.
Yeah.
They just won't play it.
Makes sense.
And they'll just continue playing all of the other stuff that they actually do play.
But will not playing it stop them from complaining about it?
No.
Okay.
No, they will complain.
Yeah, makes sense.
But hey, here's something you might care about that you also may not have seen, although I think it was one of the only things that was actually sent to me after the show ended because I wasn't able to watch it live. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Did you see anything from this?
I did see something from this.
So
it's Lego Batman.
It's basically just Lego Arkham. Like it looks like the combat is exactly that. It's an open world thing, but you only play as Batman and his friends.
And then the gimmicks we do, like levels are all like straight out of movies. Basically, we're doing movie references.
See, that is not
something
clear. That they haven't really talked about. So they are saying that is not the case, but that it just has like a lot of the scenes from it are basically 100% stolen and thrown in there. Because like in the trailer, you see several of them. Like there's bits that are still like the car chase from the Penguin from the Batman.
I don't think it'll be like we play levels from the movies. I think it'll be we take set pieces from the movies and stitch them into some crappy little Batman narrative we made up in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then that gives us an excuse to do the Batman car chase or what was another one? There's like Dark Knight bits in here.
Yeah, you see specifically like Dark Knight Rises Bane saying some shit and then stepping on a Lego. We see Dark Knight Joker doing some stuff like it's not references. It is we put this scene in here for sure. Yeah. So anyway, I think this Lego game looks really good. I'll probably end up playing it. I don't know if it's going to be like a day one, but it is one of the things coming out of this that I was like, oh wow, okay, yeah, I'll yeah.
Yeah, it looks cute.
And one of the other ones that got basically that same reaction from me was Warhammer 40K Dawn of War 4. So this is obviously the 4th game in the Dawn of War franchise. It is a RTS in the 40K universe. They have confirmed 4 playable races. They are Admech, Necron, Blood Angels, and the Orcs. Most likely with other ones being added in DLC down the way. That's always how they do it. I will say Dawn of War 3 was really bad, and this looks like it's corrected a fair amount of the issues that people had with it, just based on the trailer, which is, it's hard to tell really anything from the trailer, but it does look improved. I will say this Dawn of War's never really been like the type of RTS that really speaks to me, but I am certainly interested in it. I will be watching this closely.
Okay.
The gameplay I think does look a little bit too chaotic for me, is basically what I'm getting at. Is I think it just looks unmanageable. It looks more like it's a horde rush style of RTS as opposed to like something more strategic and interesting. But hey, someday we'll get a really good Warhammer, 40K Warhammer RTS, because we already got the fantasy one. Total War Warhammer 1, 2, 3, all great. And we just need a 40K one to not be bad.
You think it would be a slam dunk, but oh well.
I think RTSs are harder when guns. You know what I mean? when it's swordsmen and stuff like that, I feel like that is easier for them to figure out. I feel like when it's like, and I have an orbital laser, then it becomes more challenging. Because there's so few RTSs that take place in a post gunpowder time period that are genuinely good. In the world of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the Order of the Giants, the longest title humanly possible. They showed another trailer for it. Hey man, still looks good. Not a whole lot to say about it. It's also dropping September 4th, which means it is the exact same day as Hollowknight, which means I will not be playing it anywhere near when it comes out. But I love that game, and I will certainly play this DLC at some point. It looks like it's leaning more heavily on like the part of Roman history that I'm interested in, whereas the base game, the parts of it that were in Rome were in the Vatican, so it was very like Roman Catholic, whereas this like, looks like it leans back on like gladiators, and there's a clip of it where you like go to the Colosseum. There's some interesting stuff. This seems like it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited about it. So
should be cool.
But I'm definitely not playing it before Silksong. That's simply not gonna happen.
Cool.
We got a trailer for Outer Worlds 2, which I think looks great. It looks like what if Outer Worlds 2, but it was bigger and it was more modern. Here we are. Here's the thing. This does start a trend that I'm not a huge fan of in at least one other of the trailers we're going to talk about here, which is a kind of spoiled part of the game that I didn't necessarily want to get spoiled, which is they show all of the companions. It is the companions trailer. They don't really tell you much about them. They just show you all of them. And they're like, here are the companions. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't need that. Yeah, I would have just played the game and just met these characters, naturally, and then been like happy when I found out that they were a companion, as opposed to being like, oh, that's the guy from the trailer. He's going to join me now. You know what I mean?
Okay, so don't watch this trailer.
I would say don't watch the trailer. Although I will say I've already forgotten what like most of them look like intentionally. So, but yeah, I don't know. The game still looks good, but they do specify that you can't sleep with the companions, which is also true of Outer Worlds 1. The Baldur's Gate 3 gooners are going to be real upset because
what are we even doing here anymore? If I can't sleep with like a give me one of the guys' names. Do we know their names?
We do, but I don't remember them, and I'm not going to look it up because I don't want to get re-spoiled on them.
Joe
Montaigne.
Joe Montaigne.
Yeah.
Joe Montaigne.
Because there's Joe Montana and there's Joe Montaigne.
Yeah,
they're different guys.
Montaigne
or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. It still looks good. They really also showed off more of the gameplay like they did back in June. It looks good. It looks like just we sort of found out what the formula was in the first game, and now we are iterating on that and making it look better and more polished, and sort of honing in on what was fun about that and removing the parts of it that weren't fun.
Sure.
So certainly excited. This is going to be one to look out for me. Then we got a trailer for World of Warcraft Midnight. This is the second entry into the World Soul Saga, of which there are going to be 3 expansions that they have announced are going to be like basically in back-to-back years. I'm pretty sure they said. This is part of their like big new push post acquisition from Microsoft. Is they're like, we're going to do the World Soul Saga. The first part, I forgot the name of it already. Extremely well received from everything that I've heard. The second one I think is already really piquing people's interest. The trailer looks great. Obviously, Blizzard trailers are always amazing. It's like honestly one of the most impressive things about that studio. It's just like how well their trailers always look, or how good their trailers always look. Like in all of them, like the Diablo ones were amazing. These ones obviously look great. Even the Overwatch ones that were in more of a cartoony style were like really well directed and interesting. So
yeah.
This one focuses in on, it looks like the Blood Elves or something. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know the lore of World of Warcraft. I haven't played in years.
Exactly.
But it does look very interesting. And it definitely made me want to play World of Warcraft, but I do not have the time. I simply do not have the time to play an MMO right now. I am so busy all the time.
What year did World of Warcraft like launch?
2004.
Okay, that means it's on the list eventually.
We'll get there. We'll certainly get there. And one of the bigger things that they announced, other than obviously there's an expansion, was that this one will also add player housing, which was a thing that people have been asking for a while. So it's really exciting for people who have lived in that ecosystem for a long time and have not had a house to put their guys in. So, but now they do.
That's shocking that we've gone like 20 years of this game and that's never happened.
There's been like different versions of it. So like in Legion, you had your class hall or something that was basically your own thing, and you had your guys in there. There's been like little versions like that you had it. But yeah, this is the first time that they're adding, to my knowledge at least, unless I'm completely fucking wrong, the proper player housing that you can like upgrade and do all this stuff in. So, and then we had a new look at Ghost of Yotei. For me, I think I'm at the point where I don't need to see more of Ghost of Yotei. I'm sold on it. I know exactly what this game is. And what this game is Ghost of Tsushima just again with a new character. And I'm down for that. Some people are probably going to say exactly that same sentence and mean it as a negative. For me, I'm happy for that. You know, I enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's one of my favorite of the PS4 era PlayStation exclusive like first party titles. So I'm super excited to get a second one of these. I'm sure people will be mad for a multitude of reasons of this game because A, the main character is a woman, and B, it doesn't look like it's necessarily like pushing the envelope in any really interesting ways, which like I'm fine with. I think it's not necessarily like exciting, but I think I'm gonna love it, and so that's really all I care about.
Fair enough.
Also, she's got a little wolf guy. She's got a little dog. Come on, what's not to like?
We like little dogs.
We like little dogs. And then last but not least, do we have Resident Evil Requiem? So you did...
Finally, I've been sitting here basically silent the entire time just waiting for this part.
Well, maybe you should have watched the show.
I didn't want to. You said it was long.
It was long, but you didn't even click on the video to find that out.
I saw your blue sky about it.
Mm.
Your what is it called? We call it bleats.
People say skeet, and I'm not a fan of it.
That's awful. Don't ever say that.
Yeah. But I didn't put that out until like a full day after it aired. So you got no excuse.
I've got lots of excuses.
You're full of excuses and shit. Now tell me what you thought of this trailer.
It's Resident Evil.
Yeah, it just looks like more Resident Evil to me, but that not in a bad way. Again,
no, I said that as a positive. I love Resident Evil.
This is the other trailer that I will complain about. Not because it looks bad, but in the like, this shouldn't be what the trailer is. This should not be the scene that you are spoiling with this trailer. It's you know, it is the scene. It's probably the beginning of the game, to be fair, but the scene where a protagonist from a previous game is killed, and you then take over as the child of that protagonist. Yeah, man, that's gonna play a lot better when you actually physically play it. That's not what you put in the trailer. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a bad choice. And the game's going to be great. I'm not saying anything about that. This is a terrible choice for trailer.
First, I'll be honest. Yeah. I mostly just skimmed the trailer. I'm not.
Oh my god! You watched one trailer and you skimmed it?
Well, for exactly this reason. I don't want to.
That's fair, actually. Yeah, you're right.
I don't want all the smoke before we get there. We're gonna get there within like 6-7 months, anyways, right?
Yeah. Comes out next year.
It's like February next year, I think. Yeah, and you're probably right. This probably is like how the game opens.
I'm sure.
And I think they were probably also thinking like, yeah, you are correct that it is a protagonist from a previous game that gets axed off.
Yeah.
But it's also a game that like maybe like 1% of Resident Evil fans have actually played. You know what I mean?
The percentage is probably about that, yeah, because it's not even in the game that she's a protagonist and she's not the only protagonist. Like, you choose different ones to play as, if I remember right, and I don't think have to play as her. So no, you're definitely like, you're right, but like, if you think that it's a big enough deal for this character's child to be the protagonist of your new mainline game, then like, you do think that this character is a big enough deal that I shouldn't be spoiled on the means of her death before I play the game.
Maybe.
Especially when you've already spoiled for me that she is dead in the first trailer by being like, oh, she was killed at this hotel. You could have just shown them being at that hotel and shown the name, and then we would have known from the first trailer, oh, this is where she dies, and we could have connected that on our own. We didn't need to see literally her die.
They didn't have to show the actual death. I don't disagree with you there, but I think maybe they're also going for like trying to get you just completely emotionally behind the new girl months in advance. Like, oh man, we're going to experience her mom's death that we saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I feel like that ruins it a little bit, doesn't it?
Like when you're actually playing the game, now they've shown you probably what one of the bigger emotionally connecting moments for this character is. But now people who've already seen the trailer will have already had that, and it's going to be half a year before we get the rest of it.
Maybe not. It depends on the person, I guess.
Yeah,
And on whether or not they skimmed the trailer.
that's fair. That's fair. I will say already the reception to this character is like not great because they not because she's, well, partially because she's a woman, but the bigger concern that I've seen, not concern, complaint that I've seen is that they don't like that she's a coward and that like she's not. They find that uninteresting, and it's like I don't want to play as a coward who can't actually like do any of the stuff. And like I get that to an extent, like I do, because I know that I think that it does feel like a kind of an overcorrection a little bit, because you know one of the complaints when we got to like Resident Evil 5 and 6 was, oh, it's too actiony, and then we sort of rolled it back to 7, and then I feel like 8 also got more actiony, and so we've been doing this sort of like bungee cording between, you know, oh, it's actual survival horror, or oh, it's like super duper actiony. And I think that this is maybe leaning too far back into the survival horror for a lot of people who have just gotten used to like, oh, now we're actiony again because the last like 5 games have been that way. But also like we don't know that for sure yet. Like we're not playing the game. It's just that this character, at least I assume she's gonna have a, you know, hey, guess what, a character arc where she starts like a super coward, and then by the end she'll be she's gonna do the Lara Croft thing where she's gonna start as like, oh my god, I can't kill this deer, and then by like 2 hours in, she's gonna be mowing down motherfuckers with a chain gun. So, like, that's probably what's gonna be happening. Also, like, I would be shocked if there's not a secondary protagonist somewhere in there. The rumors of it being Leon are still circulating. So I could definitely see that. I also think it'd be really weird if we go back to Raccoon City and we don't see or play as any of the people who actually matter to be back there. Like we're going to play as this random Grace Ashcroft lady and not see like how Leon feels about this or how Claire feels, like any of those people. I would be surprised if we don't see them.
I don't disagree. In fact, I agree. I would not be surprised if we see them. But at the same time, I think it's also important not to build an expectation in your mind, like I know so many people are going to do. People are going to go into this game and say, if this character doesn't show up, then this game is bad. And it's just like, well, that's your own fault then.
Well, but I do think that some of that is fair. I think if your whole pull for this game is we're going back to Raccoon City, and you're not going to talk about and deal with the concept of like the people who have connections to Raccoon City, then you've short shifted yourself. Like you've put yourself in a narrative hole where people are going to expect that. And it's completely fair for them to expect that because you have set the stage for this to happen. You know what I mean? And then you pull the rug out and you go, who's had a better story than Bran? Who's had a better story than Grace? You know what I mean?
I think that's possible, but I don't think it's a rule. Where
no, yeah, the
like,
game will probably still be good, but
if
they're setting it up.
The game is good, the game is good. So like it's down to the game to, if the game decides we're not going to have Leon, we're not going to have Claire, we're not going to have Sherry Birkin, whatever, we're not going to have any single returning characters, then it's on the game to make up for that for being good. You know?
Exactly.
So,
but if they don't, I do think that they are starting from a lower position.
Potentially. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Well, okay, what if spoilers for Resident Evil 7.
Whoa.
What if it ends? What if it ends with Leon being like, I'm here and I'm Leon, just like how Chris does at the end of 7? Does that count?
It would, but I think it would also be pretty stupid. I think we all kind of thought it was stupid at the end of 7.
Well, at the end of 7, it was like a twist almost.
It was a twist.
A twist that was explained by like supplemental materials later.
Yeah, which is what made it not a great twist.
Didn't matter. Yeah.
Because like no one read that shit. So yeah. I would not necessarily hate that, but I certainly wouldn't like it. I'd be like, oh, there he is. Wow. You know what I mean? He needs to show up and he needs to do a big like kick flip, kick a giant El Gigante head off its body. And also he's like 65 years old now. Something. Yeah. He needs to do all of it. That was one of the things people kept bringing up is they're like, oh, but he was so old right now. And I'm like, maybe, I don't know. It's a fucking video game. Do we even know? Do we care? He could be 45 and still be an action hero. I don't care. Yeah, how old is character from Die Hard whose name I don't remember at the moment? John McClane? John McElmore. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. He's like a grown out. He's like retired or some shit, isn't he? How old was Liam Neeson
when his daughter was taken 3 times.
Yeah. And
Actually-
now he's the Naked Gun.
Actually, I don't think his daughter was taken 3 times. I think his daughter was taken. His daughter was taken. Then I think he got taken.
I know his wife got
And
taken.
then his wife gets killed.
But did she get taken before she gets killed?
I don't think so. I think she gets killed and then the daughter gets taken again. I don't know.
You're the movie guy. This is your whole.
You think I'm supposed to remember what happens in Taken? I
Yeah.
didn't even see Take 3 in. I didn't even see that one.
All right.
I don't even know if I saw the second one. Why are we talking about Taken?
You brought it up.
I think you did.
That is not
this is on you. Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, I think this game is going to be really good. I do think that they're sort of I do agree that they are, I think, making some choices that are going to turn a lot of people off. But it is going to be good. But we're going to cross that bridge at some point where it's like when you separate yourself so far from the old Resident Evil games, it's like, are we just calling it Resident Evil because people will buy it because it has that name on the box? Like, is that what it is? You know what I mean? Like, if there's no callbacks to the old games other than, hey, we're in this location, but now it's been nuked. Like, man, I don't know. It kind of hits me in the same way of like the new God of War games, where it's like, this could just be a different character. Like, if this being Kratos is literally only here to sell copies. This could be like a new Norse character, and the game would be exactly as good, and people just probably wouldn't talk about it as much. And it's like, that's not a bad thing necessarily, but it does hit the brain pan wrong.
I think I had that same initial reaction about Resident Evil 7, and the arguments can still be made because that Resident Evil 7 does not feel like a Resident Evil game
At all. Yeah.
At all.
I do like it, but it's
but
yeah,
Resident Evil Village does to me. Resident Evil,
yeah, I think
Resident
it's
Evil 8 feels a lot like Resident Evil 4, and it has like a lot of Resident Evil hallmarks and like the character designs and like the layout is its own, it's different, it's stand out, but it's that one to me very much feels like a Resident Evil game. So if this does what Resident Evil 8 did basically, then I think we're Gucci.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I hope so. Regardless, it'll be a good game. I have no doubt of that. Capcom's been on a goddamn tear lately, so
I'm at a place with Resident Evil where I love it. It's one of my favorite video game franchises.
yeah.
All this really needs to be, for me, is better than 6, which is awful. So it's like, if this is just not the worst Resident Evil game, which, by the way, I don't even think 6 is technically the worst. That's like Operation Raccoon City or some shit.
Sure, yeah.
But like, we're not counting that. We're talking mainline Resident Evil games. This just needs to be better than 6, so that it's just like, oh yeah, remember Requiem came out and it was kind of butt. Well, it was better than 6. Then we can move on with our lives. But I would very much like it to be as good as 8, because I loved 8.
For sure. Yeah. Well, cool. Thanks everybody for watching this far into the video. If you want to tell us about all of your hopes and expectations for any of the things we talked about, or specifically Resident Evil, you could do so in the comments down below on Spotify and YouTube. Those are the 2 places we are, and we would love for you to give us a follow on one or both of those places, and then tell your friends about how great we are and where you can find, where they can find us. You can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McGee.
Follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler 8-bit.
And until next time, everybody, we'll see you around.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right.